because sooner or later, y'all will be able to watch Godzilla vs. Kong in the theater. Because one of the last major holdouts when it comes to the theatrical experience lately, due to many safety concerns, was the state of New York. And Governor, I'm really that far out of the political sphere. I think it's Governor Cuomo was more or less keeping a lot of the state locked down. Well, now he has lifted restrictions on movie theaters, saying that they will be open in New York starting March 5th with 25% capacity. Yes. Okay, I don't live in New York, but this is a huge deal because New York and California were the last major holdouts for opening theaters. And a lot of movie theaters themselves were going, a lot of movie studios were saying, we are not going to release our movies until New York and California open because they're two of our biggest markets. It would be like you going out to play a baseball game, but you're missing your two best hitters. You're not really going to stand a chance. So having this market back open, I think, is the first real glimmer of hope of stability again. Notice is coming just in time for some March releases with Godzilla vs. Kong. I feel like there's another, Raya and the Last Dragon. So there are some things in the theater to come back to. This also comes back to Regal has not reopened yet, but they've said we're hoping to open sometime in March, depending on New York and California. They've explicitly stated that they will not open until New York and California reopen. So having this, I don't think California is far behind. I think when we come to it this time next week, California theaters will at least be announced to be opening sometime soon. Michael, I know you don't live in New York either, but you see New York theaters opening. Is this a glimmer of hope? You think this is premature? What do you think?
This is a glimmer of hope. I think this is the first domino that needed to fall, and I think all the rest of them subsequently will do so. This is huge news. They've been holding out for a reason. I've always listened. I felt like in certain aspects I've been a little bit more positive, a little more hopeful than you have. I mean, you've been, I would say, been taking the more realistic approach to all of this. I, for no rhyme or reason, have just remained optimistic about this the entire time. And I'm not saying I'm not calling myself a prophet by no means. I just, for whatever reason, I couldn't tell you. I'm thinking everything's going to be okay. I truly believe that. It's just we're going to have to get through this. Now, things can happen between now and, was it basically 2 weeks from now? I get it. But the fact that this is on there, we've seen, I guess, political opinions aside, we have seen progress. Okay, I think everyone can agree on progress on every stretch of the aisle when it comes to this pandemic. So the fact that we are in a better position now than we were last year, and the fact that these restrictions are at least being lifted because of progress, I don't see these this time. I don't see the ball being pushed out or the can being kicked down the proverbial road this time because of the amount of strength that we have, the resolve, and the resources we have this year versus a year ago.
That you do bring up a good point, and it's a question I was just about to ask you. Do you think we are now at a point that we have seen the last movie delays? Do you think movies will now open when they're set to, or do you think there's still maybe one or two movies that might shift the release date one more time?
Oh, I think we're far from seeing movies honestly be delayed because of this very fact that if you could, for example, this is not based in any sort of facts or data or anything that I've seen. This is just Michael Crable spouting something. But if your movie's already been delayed, like Black Widow, by a year, so what's another pound to an elephant? That if you're going to get 25% people in, let's say, March, but because of progress, you can maybe forecast 50% in April or something. I'm not saying that's too zealous, but why wouldn't you delay until you could get the majority of theaters filled, not just 1/4 of them? So I don't think we're out of the movie delay because at this point, I mean, it's just a waiting game anyway. It's not like you're going to be losing or saving money because the films that have already been pushed back, yes, it's been a domino effect because either they're going to release all of the films that were supposed to come out in 2020 and now 2021, and there's going to be like an accordion. They're all going to be jammed together with a very limited release as far as theaters, amount of theaters, and the amount of people in them, or people work deals and they continue to stretch them out. Because at this point, I know you're saying, but what about the films in 2022 that are going to be impacted by 2021 and then 2020? I'm just going to say they're going to continue to get pushed off because we just really, it's like this last year, nothing happened in the movie industry for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just going to kick everything down the road. I do not see them saying, all right, the theaters are back to 100%, let's say in July, let's just say that hypothetically, then we release all of these 25 big blockbusters in 6 months. Like that's just not going to happen. That's not a way to make for them to maximize their return on investment.